My name is Alena Larson. I am, first and foremost, I'm a mom and I'm a wife. I have three beautiful kids, and I work at a healthcare company called Optum. I lead a marketing operations technology team, and I've been there about 8 years. I would say my strong suits are that I've always been complimented for having a positive attitude. I'm able to kind of, when something difficult comes my way, I try to look for the positive. What can I learn from this? How can I improve myself or use this as an opportunity to maybe see an opportunity? My favorite movie is Princess Bride. And the reason I love Princess Bride is because it's not only funny and happy, but it's something that teaches you about love and loyalty and compassion and love and all of these things that we build our lives around and that everyone can relate to. It's a timeless story, and it is something that can be loved by all ages. Okay, I think the worst movie ever was recommended to me by my son-in-law, and he said it was great. So I paid to rent it. He told me the good, the bad, and the ugly. I had to watch this movie. So I paid to rent it on Amazon. I watched the first 20 minutes of that movie, and I was just like, the first 20 minutes of the movie is just showing this like old saloon town and Clint Eastwood walking up and down the road for 20 minutes. So had to turn it off, couldn't get through it. Sorry, son-in-law. It didn't work out. I'm gonna call it the worst movie. Okay, if I had to be on a game show, that's an easy question, because the game show that I would choose to be on is Family Feud. And that's because I have some of the smartest brothers and sisters on the planet, and we have such a wide variety of interests, and I think we would kill it. I think we'd win it. I met my husband while I was away at college, and it was my first time living away, and I didn't know anyone there. I was trying to meet people, and so I went to a dance at the university, and this boy asked me to dance, and we ended up dating. Well, interestingly enough, my husband was also there and was his friend, but he didn't ask me to dance, his friend did. So I ended up dating this friend for a while. Things eventually didn't work out, and he asked me out as soon as I broke it off with the other boy. And it's funny because he said, "Oh, I knew it wasn't going to work out between the two of you. I was just waiting, biding my time." One of the best things that happened to me during 2020 was an opportunity to really reflect on the things that are important to me without being able to, really leave your house, go into the office, socialize with people that you normally do. It really made you kind of connect with the things in your life that are the most important, that small circle of family that you are committed to seeing. And by being home so much, it's given me an opportunity to connect with my family in ways that I normally wouldn't have done before. The worst thing about 2020 has been the disconnect with everything else, and not being able to, connect with my extended family the way we have before. We're looking at, Thanksgiving without my extended family, which is the first time in 20 years I haven't been able to see them, and not being able to experience, weddings or celebrations or the normal things that you would get together for and celebrate and have fun together as a family, and not being able to do those things has been really difficult. The hardest thing I've ever had to do in my entire life was to support and help my husband navigate mental health issues. Spanning 15 years of ups and downs, of suicide attempts, of, helping to protect my kids from things that I thought would be difficult for them to understand, not feeling like I had anyone I could talk to that could relate and understand was really, really difficult for me. I said earlier that one of my strengths and is a positive attitude. And I would say that that was one of the strongest things that got me through that, is being able to really look and understand and try to understand what can I learn from this? How can I become a better person? How can I understand the impacts of mental health in families? How can I be more compassionate to others? How can I, not be ashamed of this and not be afraid to tell my story and relate to other individuals that may be going through similar things? As I learned that I was having twins and how did I prepare for this, it was a really difficult time for me, to be honest. I remember sitting in the ultrasound and they confirmed that we were having twins, and my husband was like, "Yay, so excited." And he looked over and he's like, "Aren't you excited?" And I'm like, yes, but I was terrified inside because they were my first kids. I just really didn't know what to expect. So it was really scary. I also have really difficult pregnancies. So looking back now, I feel like that was God's way of saying, this is how you're going to grow and expand your family, because we may not get these kids here if I have to wait for you to be pregnant, because that was, just something I don't know that I would go through with again. So that was, a really difficult time. The way that I prepared myself to have 2 kids, what can prepare you for that when you've never had children before? I was 23 years old. I was not prepared. But one thing that was a great support to me were I worked with 2 other individuals who had twins. And I remember talking with this individual, and he told me, "Don't worry, you're gonna be okay. It's not 2 times the work, it's only 1.5 times the work." And I thought, okay, if it's 1.5 times the work, I can get through this, I can do that. The other thing that really helped prepare me and made me feel calm and peace is that the place where I worked had an on-site daycare. So knowing that when I went back to work, that my kids were gonna be just down the hall, that I could take my lunch breaks with them, I could be with them. I had, some semblance of control over being with them at that time, gave me peace in being able to kind of get through that really difficult first 6 months. As I raised my kids, the one thing that was really important to me, that I had, the highest hopes for them, is I really wanted my kids to be strong and confident women. I grew up in a society and, part of my religious background as well as my family background was very hierarchical and also fairly male dominated. And so for me, especially as I matured and grew as a woman, it was really important for me that my girls understood that they are strong, they are powerful, that any choice they make in life, they have the ability to make those decisions, and to that they don't need to live in any type of stereotype that is associated with a woman or any type of society that they're in. I really feel like it's important for my girls especially to receive an education, to be able to support themselves no matter what, and that they can always stand on their own 2 feet first, and that they're not reliant on any other person to be successful or, do anything that they want to do, that they can make those decisions themselves. One of the best things about having twins is that as a mother and as a parent, you always know that they are never alone. And as your kids grow up and they go through the first day of school, the, first time that they go to camp away from home, the first time that they, go to high school, go to college, or just experience something new, that they aren't doing that alone, that they have that partner, that best friend always built in. And I've been really blessed that my twins have been best friends. They've always been there for each other. They walked to school together. They were, most of their schooling, they were always in the same class. And so just knowing that they always had that kind of backup, that person who knows that you're always there and can get you through anything, was always a great comfort to me. I also feel like I feel very blessed to have twins. It's not something that every mother gets to go through. And I remember, when they were in these growing up years, I remember feeling like it was a special blessing and gift from God that I was able to have these twins, that I could experience things as a parent that you just don't get to experience when you have a single child. And I remember feeling really blessed and really fortunate that I was chosen, or that I had that opportunity to have twins. It's been a really special experience for me. One of the most difficult things about having twins is, right out of the gate, they were 2 months early. So we spent some, difficult weeks in the hospital before they came home. It's funny because, you hear that most kids don't come with an instruction manual. Well, my kids came with an instruction manual because we had very regimented routines, and I was trained by nurses in order to take these little babies home. So I felt really fortunate to be able to do that. But it was a really difficult time. It was really hard physically on myself, emotionally, and those first several months were really difficult. And I would say, as a mom, as a parent, as a full-time working mom, and taking care of your home, taking care of your family and all of your kids, it is really difficult to juggle that. I said earlier that, twins aren't twice the work, they're 1.5 times the work, but it's still, that little bit extra, that time when you need to run kids here and there, and you're, after work, and you've got dinner to get ready, and the house is a mess, and, it's a challenge to kind of juggle all of that. A great blessing, something I would never ever give back. But there were times where I really felt kind of stressed out to my max. One of the things that I am most proud of in my life, and I'm not saying this to boast in any way, but I'm really proud of the fact that I went to college, I got an associate's degree. I don't have a bachelor's degree. But I've been able to build a career and support our family, to be comfortable. I've had opportunities and doors open for me. I've had amazing mentors. I've worked really, really hard. I've sacrificed to grow and build my professional life while, juggling a household, raising kids, many times traveling 1 to 2 times a month, sometimes globally, and managing a very stressful work schedule. And being able to do all of that, I've been really proud of not only my professional achievements, but I feel like what I've learned professionally and, with other mentors that I've had in my career, that I've been able to translate those into my personal life as well. I feel like I've been a better mother, a better wife, a better, just a better human being, someone who has had more exposure to the world, to people not of my same culture, people who are different than me, who believe different than me, and I've just been able to challenge maybe the way that I traditionally have had thoughts into opportunities to better understand other individuals and just I feel like it's just made me a better person. One of the blessings that I have experienced by helping my son transition to be male is seeing my child, who a year ago spent so much time in his bedroom, at the time her bedroom, who was grumpy, cranky, wouldn't let me touch him, just struggled with friendships and social interactions and was depressed. All of these things that as a parent I was struggling to help my child. And through the transition of seeing my son become who he's supposed to be, which is male, he has more energy, he has more friendships, he has a job and loves it. He has been able to, get good grades, and I've just seen him become who he is supposed to be. That energy, that light within his eyes. I remember one moment in particular. It was a really stressful time. I was trying to help him legally get his name and gender changed to male. There was so much paperwork and all these appointments to try to get this done. And my son comes in, I'm working on the computer trying to submit this information for him. And he comes in and he puts his arms around me and he gives me this huge bear hug. And he says, "Mom, I know this has been a lot of work, and I really love you and appreciate you for helping me do this." And it meant so much to me because, prior to that, he wouldn't let me hug him. He wouldn't let me touch him. He was very closed off and guarded. And I've slowly seen my son open up. I mean, today he gave me a hug. Those little things that just let me know that it's confirmed to me that we've done the right thing in immediately accepting him, immediately loving him, immediately supporting him, and let him make the decisions about what his transition would look like. When my son first told me that he was transgender, he approached me one night and wanted to go for a drive, and he never asked to do that. I knew something was up. He told me he had something he wanted to tell me. I didn't know what it was, and my husband and I had, for a few years, maybe suspected that he might be gay. We didn't think that he would be transgender. So when he first told me, the thought that immediately went through my mind is, he needs to know that we love him and accept him no matter what. And so I said those words. I told him that I loved him no matter what, that we accepted him, that I would help him through this, and that we were his parents, and that we would be his partners through this. But in the back of my mind, I had a lot of questions. Is this real? Is this a phase? Is this something that, will go away in a year? Is this, I just didn't know if it was real. I've never known anyone who's transgender before. I've never met anyone. I just had so many unanswered questions. And I'm really grateful for professional help. I'm grateful for support groups and communities that we've been a part of. I'm grateful for my initial gut reaction to show love and acceptance, because I think that is the number one thing that LGBTQ youth need to know, is that they are loved and accepted and there's nothing wrong with them, and that they are wonderful people just as they are, and that we should embrace their desire to live authentic and true to who they are. It's interesting when you think about family and what it means to me. The word family implies your blood, your children, your parents, your siblings. But I think family is so much more than that. I think family is, yes, all of those things related to your blood, but it extends beyond that as well. We've been fortunate enough to have a daughter who's now married, and we've been able to welcome her husband into our family. Our other daughter has a boyfriend who we've accepted into our family. And it's interesting, as your family grows and expounds, your love grows and expounds, and that you have those same feelings of love and acceptance for them, that just didn't know how that would feel when your children were younger. So for me, when I think about family, what I thought about 20 years ago when we were just starting our family and we had little ones running around, it was very much about birthdays and occasions and vacations. And the older I've got, the older I am now, the more I realize that family is it's more of a feeling, it's more of an emotion. It's how we connect, it's how we love, it's how we show acceptance, it's how we support each other in growing and developing and building a family. And for me, I get more joy and satisfaction out of my children making decisions as adults, that I see them making wise decisions about school, a career, education, family, planning, having strong women who make their own decisions. And I get more satisfaction out of that than, things that you may have seen when, you had a small child and they take their first step. It's exciting, it's wonderful to see that, but having your children actually become all the things that you hope and dream for them, that they are happy, they're balanced, they're adjusted, they're making great decisions, gives such a great feeling of satisfaction and love, and that expounds more as they grow and you grow.